welcome to another session of Human Geography with Mr. Elrod, Teacher's Edition. So last time we were together, we were looking at some of the basic things that we need to do in order to get our course organized. Talking about the calendar, textbook, fitting all those things together, kind of getting your course structured, organized, so that way you feel like the task is less daunting. Imagine a lot of you that are moving into the course maybe are not geography experts. I know I certainly wasn't/aren't yet. So trying to learn new information, put together a new course can be relatively challenging, especially in AP course. So today what we're going to look at is what content is it that you need to teach. Because if you look out there, some of you got to ask yourself, well, I'm teaching this course, I was put into it, I know what date the exam is, I've planned out my year. Well, what specifically is it that I need to teach the kids? What information do I need to get across to them in order to help them be successful on the test? And I really think that, this is personal. I really think that needs to be one of your main priorities in the class, is helping the kids be successful on the AP exam. It is an AP class after all. Most kids take the class so that they are able to take the AP exam at the end of the year. And so I really feel like we're doing students a disservice if that isn't one of our main goals, helping them to achieve whatever level of success is that they've set out for themselves on the AP exam. So how can you as the teacher be organized and know specifically what content you need to cover? Well, you're in luck, because it's really simple, really easy, at least from my perspective and the way that I put the course together. There are really only two things that you need in order to get the content material that you need in order to teach the course. Now, I say this for some of the beginners that are out there. Now, those of you who are a little bit more experienced, you're probably going off in different directions. That's fine. This is mostly for the beginners out there who are trying to get the course together. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to log on to the College Board website, and you need to find the Human Geography course description. All right? Now, what that's going to do is it's going to walk you through the course. It's going to walk you through the content. It's going to walk you through the specific objectives that are a part of each of the units. In fact, the course description even breaks down the course into the 7 units that we talked about last time. And it's going to highlight for you very basically, if you go to what's called, and I meant to print it off, but the printer wasn't working, so I'm going to use my computer here. They even have it broken off into about a 20-page document called the course articulation. What it does is it walks you through very simply, if you're familiar with standards, and I would imagine that all public school teachers are familiar with the idea of standards, is it breaks it down very simply, very similar to standards, in that it gives you per unit the different topics that you need to make sure that you're covering. Now, you're not necessarily going to be able to understand the content just based upon the course articulation, but it will give you a relatively basic idea of how to organize the course. Okay? And it'll even give you a pretty good order of how you should move through the content. Now, obviously, as you get more experienced in the course and as you learn more about the course, you can kind of mix things up. As a brand new teacher, I would encourage you just to take that course articulation, look at the course description, and then just kind of follow that, all right? Once you have looked at the course description, you've gone through the course articulation, looked at a lot of those key terms, ideas, things like that, the next thing that I would recommend that you do is get a review book, okay? Don't worry about a textbook. All right, textbooks have really they overwhelm you with information. The review book, and this is just, when I was putting the course together, this is the review book that I use, the REA book, okay? So review books, the reason I would suggest that is because it's going to break things down very simply for you. It's really only going to give you the information that you need. And plus, if it's a review book, the author of the review book is very interested in following the course description and making sure they put in as much information as necessary, but while keeping it as concise as possible to be useful as a review book. Plus, a lot of times review books are going to come with review questions, practice FRQs, and things along those lines. So in fact, when I was putting the course together for my first go-around, the review book is what I took my notes out of. Because if you take your notes out of the textbook, then pretty much everything you talk about, the kids should have read through the textbook already. The review book breaks it down a little bit more simply. It might give some different examples. And also, it might include some terminology that's outside of the textbook, which is really helpful, because Because one of the problems, at least that I find, with geographers and geography in general is that they have a hard time coming together on the terminology that they want to use. So it's really important that you get your kids kind of a wide base for their vocabulary in geography terms so that they can be better prepared for the test. So again, get your review book. Doesn't matter which one. For the kids, I prefer a Barron's because of the amount of review questions. A lot of teachers I know like the Princeton review book. Again, the one that I used for my notes when I first started the course was the REA book. There's a lot of them out there. Just go to your local bookstore, pick one up, go to a teacher who's been teaching the course for a while, ask to borrow one, and that's where I would start with my notes. All right, so you've looked at the course outline, the course articulation from the College Board website. You've checked out your review book. You've taken your notes. This really gives you the bare bones for the course. As you get a little bit more experience, what you're going to want to do is then go investigate specific areas that are experts in the different fields of geography. I would not recommend going to geographers in general. Geographers are a little bit more generalized in their knowledge. You need to go to people who are experts in those particular fields. So like for instance, if you're in population geography, you want to look at the groups, the organizations, the individuals that are experts in demography. Okay. If you're going to look at economic geography, you want to go to the experts in economics, in trade, and all those other kinds of things, in the different organizations. So whether it's the International Monetary Fund, IMF, World Bank, all those things where you can collect some data, look at some articles and things like that. But just to start off, course articulation, course description, again, free on the College Board website, comes up as a PDF. Check that out, read it over, become familiar with it. And then go get yourself a review book so you can begin taking your notes, building your understanding of the course, and really just follow that. Follow that for the first year or two. As you become more comfortable with the course, you'll see how these things fit together, and then you'll feel a little bit more comfortable, and then you can start to branch out and look for information in other places. So there you have it. Again, really simple, really easy way to get ready for the course. I hope you found that to be helpful. Good luck to you this year as you get ready for the course. And as always, I hope to see you next time.